President Trump was talking about how the stock market is doing well under his watch. That part is actually true, and I'm going to show you numbers on that in a minute. But then he, of course, he couldn't help himself and said something absolutely preposterous. Let me show it to you, and then we'll break it down. Watch.
I'm so proud of the $5.2 trillion of increase in the stock market. Now, if you look at the stock market, that's one element, but then we have many other elements. The country, we took it over, it owed 20 trillion. As you know, the last 8 years, they borrowed more than it did in the whole history of our country. So they borrowed more than $10 trillion, right? And yet we picked up 5.2 trillion just in the stock market, possibly picked up the whole thing in terms of the first 9 months in terms of value. So you could say in one sense we're really increasing values, and maybe in a sense we're reducing debt, but we're very honored by it.
No, wait a minute. The stock market has nothing to do with the federal government's budget. What do you mean in a sense you're reducing debt? That's not remotely true. So let's, even CNBC reporting on this was like, CNBC, which loves to support basically the pro-corporate position, wrote, while it's true that the US stock market indexes have risen markedly during Trump's time in office, the current gains are part of a bull market that began in the spring of 2009 when the country began to recover from the Great Recession and the collapse of the housing market. So first let's tackle that issue, and then we'll get to what in the world he's talking about when it comes to the deficit and the debt. So I'm gonna show you a graph now of how the stock market has done since 2009. And you will see that where that line is, the dotted line near the end, that's when Trump takes office. So you can see that since he has taken office, it's true, the market has gone up. If you ignore the rest of the chart, which shows a super obvious trend where the market went skyrocketing under President Obama. Let me give you the exact numbers on that. From election day in 2016 to August, the S&P 500 has gained nearly 14%. Nice job. Now, I don't know that I agree with either Democrats or Republicans that the president is responsible for that. Certainly not solely responsible. There are a lot of factors at play, but I think that there is something to be said, especially over 8 years. How did the president do in shepherding the economy and accordingly how the market go? And by the way, the stock market is not the only indication. Wages are way too depressed, so I don't want to give Obama too much credit either for how the stock market did. Trump gets some credit for the 14% growth. During Obama's 8 years in office, as Forbes explains, the S&P 500 returned 235% growth. So 14%, 235%. Now, that's over 8 years, the 235%, the 14% is over 9 months. I'm giving you the full context. But if Trump wants to take credit for how well the market's doing now, he should have given all of the credit in the world to Obama for the 8 years where the stock market absolutely boomed under Obama. Now you could also say, hey, wait, that's not fair because it crashed right before Obama took office. Yeah, it crashed because you had George W. Bush in office, another Republican, who had the stock market go up for a little while and then crater because of his policies. And that actually was because of his policies. That was financial deregulation, which to be fair, started under Clinton and was on steroids under Bush and led to the collapse. Okay, so, but that's actually the smaller issue here. The much larger issue is, wait a minute, the stock market has nothing to do with the federal budget. So even CNBC here clarifies, many were scratching their heads at Trump's implication the debt was lessening because markets are increasing in value. Well, that's right, you would be scratching your head because that makes no sense at all. So now if Trump said, hey, look, if the market does well and the economy does well, eventually that'll lead to increased revenue, which eventually could reduce our debt depending on other factors. Look, even if he didn't give all those caveats and said, oh, this is gonna help the debt later, you could make a case for it. You could make a case for it. But to say, hey, there's $5.2 trillion that the market went up, so you can say that our deficit is $5.2 trillion lower. No, you cannot say that. Not in any sense. One is the market of companies. I have to explain this because he's like an a third grader. I think that my second grade son would understand this easier. But anyway, one is the markets that is related to companies and their stock prices and their relative value. The other is the federal budget That is how much the government has spent and how much it has taken in. It is affected by the economy, but has nothing to do with those companies. If the companies make more money, that doesn't mean that our debt goes down by the same amount. No, it's not true. It's not remotely true. The guy doesn't understand anything. I mean, look, every single day he comes out and does something else where you go, no, he couldn't have possibly said that. He couldn't have possibly meant that. No rational human being thinks that. Well, that's because he's not a rational human being. This child has no sense of how the economy works or how the government works. We got to get him out. He's an absolute danger. A guy that doesn't understand the markets to that degree, you think he can't do something wrong that would then collapse the markets? I know you think, no, everything's gonna be fine. Everybody in the markets are like, oh, high five everybody. Everybody's getting trillions of dollars in tax cuts, and they keep on going up. The market has not correctly priced how stupid the president is. He is going to make a monumental mistake. I know that you can't wait for your tax cuts and your deregulation. But at some point, a guy this out of control, this ignorant, will make a terrible, terrible mistake that'll cost us all, including the markets. That's my guess, and I hope to God that I'm wrong. TYT membership gets you commercial-free Young Turks. Download it, stream it, podcast it, get all the network shows, and support independent media. TYTnetwork.com/join.